leaf litter, but not too violently. Okay, don't dump the rubbish because you've got to go and clean the site anyway. Lace the front. You lace the front. Okay. So, the side guys go next. So, side one. Make sure as you're pulling down the pegs, and this is something we always do at our campsite, is make a cob a little bit further away because you should have enough pegs for each one.
And girls, you pull the runners all the way to the end.
Do you tie them up in knots?
No, when we tie them up, we just fold them up
Yep.
to there once or twice, depending on how long they are, and then you do an overhand knot. Okay, so if it works out too bulky to tie your overhand knot, then take it back one fold. Okay, because all the tents are all different.
And what angle do the pigs go on the ground, girls?
45 degrees.
Yeah. 45 degrees. So which angle do they come out?
45.
Ever. I tend to tie the knots in thirds. You know how you've got to do 2/3 to work out where your pegs are anyway? I just get used to doing it like that. Okay, all the way down the end.
Start making the cob. You just go two across, and down like that, like you're making a building.
A campfire.
Yes, like a campfire. Oh, whoops, I put up the corner.
Why do you make it? You put up this one. That's how I've always looked at these runners are tiny. One time someone came to campfire and said, "Can you build it like that?"
Okay, then we do the corners.
Tiny. Tiny.
So you do the centre ones first because they're the least important. And these ones, it doesn't actually take long to pull your tent down. It takes long to put them up.
Because you got to measure it all out.
And it doesn't take that long to put a ridge tent up anyway when you're used to
You
it.
don't need a hammer to it.
Yep. So again, give it a good shake and get the leaves off it. About this point you probably need someone holding the pole. Okay.
That's where it went. I was looking for that everywhere.
Okay, you find as much space as you can that's clear. It probably is best to drop this way because this way we've already got this tent, haven't we? Okay. So kick this back and under. Try and keep as much dirt off as possible.
Just don't loosen your guy ropes until you have two people holding the pole.
Yeah. So while you're mucking around with this, you really should have someone holding here. Okay. So some demonstrations. Madison and Tabitha, can you come and hold here? Okay. Next. Just keep going. Take your guys off. Once you've got something other end.
Girls,
One on either end.
each end.
You don't need one on both ends. Two people on one. Pull your pegs out so you remember where they are. Just don't leave the goal ropes on. Don't hold on. See if it's a bit tight.
A little wiggle.
Bit of a wiggle. All good? Okay. At this time we stand over here. Leonie, you stand there holding it. Yep. Leonie, do you want to hold it? Yep. The guys. Right, this is where your teamwork gets into it. You need to move out the way. We need to lower it. I've got my foot on it so it doesn't skip backwards. And we're lowering it down on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
And then you can have a couple of people on this side, so when it gets low enough that you can hold it. Stop. Okay, who can see what's going wrong at the moment?
It's bending.
It's bending. You actually have to lower it exactly level, so you have to be watching each other at each end to make sure it doesn't twist, because what happens if you twist it? It breaks your spike off. Okay, so I've got it now, so you can keep lowering. Nice and evenly.
Okay, see I've got my foot on it and the pole hasn't moved at all. Right, now we whip this off. Someone folds it up. That's alright, it's pretty quick. Just do this. try and keep the poles together so they don't separate like that.
Who's Marsden?
Some poles I
It's a
think
district.
had 3 poles in the centre, so you really do want to keep your poles together, or else you're going to have trouble getting that third one. Okay. Fold this up a bit. Hold this up a bit. Now, without standing on the green part at all, try and get as much grass out of it as you can.
We usually fold the whole entire thing out with the girls because it's easier for them to get all of it out. So if you grab the corner, girls, try to avoid pulling it by the guy ropes, hold it by the actual canvas itself.
That tent's really clean.
Wow. Because leaders had it.
That is the roof of the tent, though.
That is the roof itself.
Okay.
So why don't we walk on the canvas, girls?
And they can
Exactly.
get footprints.
And it wears
You
it
need to
out,
be down
but all of that has to come off.
on your knees.
You don't want
So you're on your knees, girls, and using your hands. Go from the centre, wherever the centre dirt is, bring it out to the edge. You have to get all of it off. What happens if you don't get it off?
It starts molding
And it rots the tent.
Have you
Because
guys
these
ever
tents-
pulled them all to a towel?
These tents haven't been used for a long time. And if you put them away with wet things or sticks and twigs and grass, it will rot in the tent and it makes the tent go rotten.
And it smells terrible.
Yeah, that one's apparently the moldy cheese tent. Yes. That's what the other girls make it, moldy cheese tent.
This one?
Yeah, because it's got a lot of mold on the walls because they haven't cleaned it.
Yeah. It's not too bad to sleep in though, you can still sleep in it.
Yeah.
So if you hold it up and you give it a shake like that while it's on that side, once you've cleaned this side, and then fold it in and get rid of anything else that's stuck. Because these tents may never come out of their bags for another 6 months or a year or 2 years.
Yep.
Next Amberley original camp.
And for people who say there's a lot of mucking around, I'd rather have a dome tent. Those dome tents disintegrate in a couple of years. So, and then they start to leak. They look fine, but you go into a storm and they just leak. Yeah.
We had a dome tent and we were camping and then we had really bad wind and storm and their tent collapsed.
Yeah.
We were supposed to stay there for another 2 nights but we had no tent.
Well, that's what happens.
So the poles started breaking and that, so then we
Don't
Tear
you
it
have to get some Ajax and some spray and wipe down the bottom, let it dry.
and then so we threw it away and then we went home early. But now we've got a better tent.
Well, when we were at Fantastic, which is a Tasmanian camp a couple of years ago, in the middle of the day we had a big storm and you know how dome tents are shaped like that?
Yeah.
Those rods snapped and went like
Yeah,
that.
that's what
through
my tent did.
Alright, so see your lacing cord that's at each end? That should all be folded up again, so just fold it in half, don't detach it. Just keep folding it half and then an overhand knot.
If you don't detach it, it wouldn't it?
And also the corners, you should also do your corner cords as well. You just fold them up so that they're not hanging out of the tent. Well, you don't fold it down. If it's too tiny, you can't do an overhand, so just fold it back one.
Okay. That one or this one?
Yeah, probably downhill, I would imagine.
You want to make sure you don't keep dirt on like that.
Halfway?
No, stop. So what we usually do is you go low and to the end. So you run evenly together to the end, nice and low, because otherwise a puff of wind can come along and it catches it and blows it all out, and then you've got to sort of start all over again. So So again, you've got to get on here. So can we have a couple of girls come on here and do this, please? Get just a couple of girls from the front. On your knees, start from the centre. Centre, push it out to the outside. Right from the centre.
Blow that.
Yep, get it all the way out.
See, none of us have got our feet on it.
There's 4 of you, let's take hardly any time at all.
Then half again. And then half again.
Alright, up and up.
Come down to
Then you do another half. And sweep it off again. Another 4 girls. Different 4 girls. Quick. Do a swap. Nice and quick, right from the centre. Yep, good
Oh
work.
yeah. You'll be right. You don't need to record it. You'll be doing our tent for us, so you'll know how to do it.
Yep, just down here. Down the centre. Yep, try not to get it on your knees. Okay, make sure your knees are all clean before you actually start doing it. Okay, get the rest of it all down here. 2 feet.
Well done.
Toppy, you need to hop off because it's coming off your shoes. Yep, keep sweeping
That's
it
your
off.
pole bags. Poles have to go in there. The peg bags have to go
Sorry.
in. The peg bags.
And they want the peg, if you've got a peg bag, the pegs go into the peg bag. How do they go in, girls?
Spikes up.
So, yep, so the point is out of the bag, the round curved bit is in the bottom. And why do you do that?
So that doesn't poke a hole.
So it doesn't poke a hole in their bag. And they do not want the peg bag in with the tent.
Okay.
They don't want it in there.
First thing you do put in the tent bag though is your guide. So that means that these don't get lost.
Yep, good work, girls.
There's going to have the weight of the tent on there. This has got this in here.
Yeah, that needs to be attached to the bag.
Okay.
So girls, some of you are not going to have a pole bag. Okay, if you don't have a pole bag in your tent bag, you might have some cord, and then you need to actually tie up your poles with the cord. So, because these tents came from all different districts, so some of them have it, some of them don't. If they don't have a peg bag, then the pegs have to go into the bottom of the tent bag. Okay, but most of them should have a peg bag.
Which way does this pole go into the bag? Spike up.
Okay.
So you just need to look at the size of your bag, because all your tent bags are all different shapes and sizes. So that determines how you're going to fold the rest of your tent up. But we usually get the girls to lie the bag down so that they're not
slide it
holding it in the air and hitting somebody in the head, because they're not as accurate as what we are.
So as soon as you take your poles down, poles in the pole
And
bag.
Tiawa doesn't want to do any first aid, does she?
She likes eating her biscuits.
Has she? She saved you. What, from the drop bear?
She's saved us.
Saved you.
Yeah, she saved my finger this morning.
Yep, so girls, have a look inside your tent bag. We need to fold it.
And dust off again. Couple of girls, please, because I can't kneel down. I can't hold it.
No, you don't.
Well, that's more than 2 girls.
Hope this is much
That's all right. It's
enthusiasm.
Friday. Our brains are going a little fuzzy.
Mine isn't. And it's the holiday.
Exactly.
My brain is
You're in the video.
No, my brain is
So depending on the size of the bag, we fold into 3 or 4 or 2. So, well, usually no, it goes that way. So once it's folded, it actually goes that way. So it's quite a big bag. So usually you fold it to the centre and you leave a gap, like an arm thickness gap.
And then bottom half again.
Now, yeah.
Okay, so the last folds are when you've got it down to quarter the size, fold it like this into the